The Secretary of State for Energy Security and Net Zero, Ed Miliband. We've allocated 3 minutes for each one of these presentations. Can we give him a warm welcome to the stage? Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, and it's great to be here. Well, look, we had an excellent discussion where, by and large, people stuck to their 3 minutes that they were allocated, so I shall try and do the same. 4 points to report back. First, that the age of electricity is unstoppable. We heard that electricity demand is accelerating faster than at any point in history, driven primarily by digitalization, electrification of transport, rising cooling demand, especially in emerging economies. So this growth is no longer marginal or temporary. It is structural, as Fatih said. We heard that for many, indeed most countries, clean energy is the most secure and affordable way to meet this rising demand over the long term, the way to ensure their energy security and reduce dependence on imported fuels, and meeting critical climate targets. And countries emphasized this was based on an assessment of cold, hard economic facts. We also heard that we can't just have the old electricity system with new technology. If we're to fully exploit the benefits of clean energy technologies, we need not only to evolve our electricity system to meet demand, but also reimagine, and this point was really emphasized, how we do so flexibly with consumers and affordability at its heart. Second, there was an acknowledgement that we face shared challenges and opportunities as we build this future, the need for grid expansion and modernization, including, as I say, smart and flexible systems as a critical priority, and all the while building resilience against cyber attacks and increasing extreme weather events. And there was recognition that there was huge value in working together on these challenges. Third, we heard that regional cooperation and interconnection can help manage risks and bring huge benefits in harnessing our shared energy resources. And we heard about exciting developments focused on exploiting the opportunities of interconnectivity in the North Sea, across Southeast Asia, and between Europe and North Africa. Finally, all participants, Fatih, in particular, I say this to you, underline the incredibly important role the IEA plays on these issues, which are vital to our collective energy security. I know, Fatih, from my long friendship with you, that you exist to serve your members, that is your motivation. You treat all members equally and fairly, and I think you are widely respected for that, and I think it's a great sign of vote of confidence that people are wanting to join the IEA with you welcoming 4 new members today. So we encourage the IEA to continue and deepen this work, and I'm sure I speak for the people who contributed to this panel on the basis of the facts, the evidence, and the science, because that helps us all. I'm also delighted, if I can end by saying this, to announce today that the UK intends to continue to support the IEA's Clean Energy Transition Programme with a further contribution of £12 million. This support will enable this successful programme to continue its important work with our partners to accelerate national energy transitions, including helping countries exploit the opportunities to strengthen energy security through the energy transition. So that is the report back from the excellent session we had. Thank you.
Perhaps after his ministerial display, keeping to the 3 minutes, we should hire Ed Miliband in television to keep prompt on time. I appreciate that. Our second high-level dialogue will focus on advancing energy access and clean cooking solutions. Fatih talked about this in his opening remarks. Let's welcome Kenya's Minister of Energy and Petroleum, James Opiyo Wandayi, to the stage. James, welcome back.
Excellencies, distinguished participants, this is a report back on the high-level dialogue on clean cooking. Participants early today, of course, warmly welcomed Dr. Fatih Birol and IEA's leadership on energy access and clean cooking, as well as the leadership of the co-chairs of the upcoming summit on clean cooking in Nairobi. There was an appreciation for the way the 2024 Summit on Clean Cooking has helped elevate this issue and bring it to the global stage. Participants acknowledged the tangible progress made since the last summit And many countries and organizations highlighted new programs, initiatives, delivered financing, and projects already underway. At the same time, participants took a close look at what still needs to be done. There was a strong emphasis on the need to use the Nairobi Summit as a key milestone, a moment to raise new financial and policy commitments and to announce concrete investments in infrastructure and clean cooking projects. And this was seen as a key to mobilizing the US $2 billion each year that the IEA analysis shows is needed to close the clean cooking gap in Africa by 2040. It was observed that solutions must be pragmatic, affordable, and workable in the African context in order to deliver immediate benefits to Africans in terms of health, time savings, and the environment. There was also an emphasis on an all fuels and technologies approach, including LPG as well as electricity and different forms of modern bioenergy. Countries that have made significant progress shared their experiences, highlighting what has worked and what pitfalls to avoid. There was broad agreement on the need for deeper private sector engagement, and participants also emphasized the importance of policy frameworks that de-risk market entry for new actors, provide stable and consistent signals for long-term investment, ensure strong regulatory environments, and protect consumers, and support households and public institutions in affording modern cooking solutions. There's also an observation about the role of carbon credits to provide affordable solutions and also secure financing. The introduction of the Clean Cooking Alliance into the IEA framework was welcomed, and in transitioning into the IEA will allow interested countries to join the new version of the initiative. And finally, distinguished guests, on behalf of my president, Dr. William Ruto of Kenya, we are looking forward to working closely with the co-chairs of that summit. That is Prime Minister Jonas Støre of Norway, the US Secretary of Energy, Honorable Chris Wright, and the IEA's Executive Director, Dr. Fatih Birol, for the Nairobi Summit. And we welcome all of you on the 9th and 10th of July for this very important summit. Thank you very much. That is the format.
So I hope everybody marked their calendar for that July meeting. It's interesting, the IEA research, it's not a surprise because I'm still very involved in the energy sector, but 600 million people in Africa still without access to electricity, and the investments are running about $2.5 billion a year rather than the target of $15 billion annually for the next decade. So there was an interesting op-ed piece in the Financial Times from President Tinubu yesterday, talked about how do we see Africa and the re-rating of Africa to get rating agencies to be a bit more cooperative to get more capital into that market. Another subject that the Deputy Prime Minister brought up today is investing in Ukraine's future energy security, the challenges that that country has undergone since the start of 2026 after continuation of battering of its infrastructure in 2025 as well. For this role in the recap of that meeting, let's welcome Lithuania's Minister of Energy, Žygimantas Vaičiūnas of Lithuania. Please, thanks very much.
Madam Chair, dear Fatih, Your Excellencies Ministers, really we had a very excellent conversation on high-level dialogue on Ukraine. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their interventions. It was an excellent gathering and excellent conversations. I also want to thank Minister Denis Šmyhal for traveling all his way to discuss these issues during this such a challenging time for Ukraine. The topic of the discussion has been investing in Ukraine's energy security. But we changed the topic in our conversation, that it should be the topic entitled Investing in Europe's and World's Energy Security. While many different themes were discussed, one thing we know is clear. Ukraine's energy sector continues to be targeted by Russia on a daily basis. These attacks harm the lives of citizens across the country who are living through one of the coldest winters in decades, without access to power, heating, and water. Next week, it will be the 4th year after Russia's full-scale invasion to Ukraine. During the discussion, ministers in the room reaffirmed their unwavering support for Ukraine and condemned Russia's illegal war of aggression, energy terror, as described during the high-level dialogue. We all can agree that access to energy is a human right, and Ukraine is fighting bravely to protect that access. Ukraine energy workers are sacrificing their lives for the security of supply, and that's the fact. But as highlighted by Minister Smychal, the country is also looking ahead to the future, with a vision for a more decentralized and more secure energy system that is integrated with Europe. Energy security will be the guiding principle for Ukraine in its new energy architecture. And Ukraine potentially could be electricity supplier for the EU after the alignment with the EU rules, as it has been highlighted by the Energy Commissioner Dan Jorgensen. But the other key element, as we heard today, is the private sector investments. Countries, international financial institutions, and industry are coming together to propose new, innovative financing models that help reduce risks and stimulate energy sector investments. Over the past 4 years, despite the ongoing Russian war of aggression, we have seen new battery projects, solar PV, and wind farms being built, some of which were highlighted today and made possible by IEA members and partners. These projects are helping.
Pues estos proyectos se van construyendo megavatio por megavatio para que haya mayor resiliencia y para que tengamos esa electricidad tan necesaria en los hogares y empresas. Al aumentar el potencial, estamos avanzando y los oradores de hoy ya lo han dicho, hay que encontrar las políticas y los marcos normativos que permitan apoyar que tengamos esta solución de tanta importancia. Hay un fuerte acuerdo entre todos. Las políticas pueden enviar una señal al sector privado, indicando que Ucrania efectivamente está abierta y puede trabajar y que tiene una visión para el futuro. Me gustaría también agradecer a la IE por este apoyo continuado a favor de Ucrania. La IE se encuentra en el epicentro de la seguridad energética internacional y están haciéndose toda una serie de análisis muy importantes que guían los debates sobre las necesidades del sector. El programa de cooperación entre la IE y Ucrania es esencial y seguimos trabajando al respecto. En nombre del grupo de diálogo de alto nivel, los miembros, los participantes, todo mi agradecimiento, señoras y señores, a Denis Shmyhal, el ministro de Energía de Ucrania, por toda la resiliencia del país, de su pueblo, y también a los trabajadores de la energía, porque están ustedes defendiendo la libertad y están ustedes defendiendo la seguridad. Concluye el segmento publicado en línea antes de que pasemos a la sesión siguiente. A continuación, agradecemos a todos los que lo han estado siguiendo en línea por el interés.
So we're now moving into this next session of the IEA Ministerial Government Industry Opening Panel, which is focused on the critical topic of investment itself. In this session, we'll hear from the very distinguished group of ministers.